What's up, guys? Today I'll be breaking down and discussing the bolt-action sniper rifle in Battlefield 1 called the Gewehr 98. There's three variants to this weapon. The infantry variant, which offers iron sights and zoom options of 1 times up to 2 times. The marksman variant, which offers a sight of 2.5 times up to 4 times. And the sniper, which offers offers magnification types of 5, 6, 8, and 10 times, and attaches a bipod to the weapon. Of note, the infantry variant allows you to stay aimed down sights between shots, which is nice for more aggressive encounters. The other two variants do not. For this review, of course, I'll be discussing optimum strategies when using the weapons and break down the synthic numbers to give you a better understanding of the strengths and weaknesses. All Gewehr 98s are essentially exactly the same in terms of base stats, but they differ of course, in zoom optics available to the weapon, and there's slight differences in recoil and spread, but I'll cover that shortly. You have to be anywhere between kit rank 1 and 3 for the scout class to unlock these variants, and you'll have to spend at least 200 war bonds apiece for all of them to unlock them all. So let's get to the stats. All Gewehr 98s have a 50 round per minute fire rate, an 880 meters per second bullet velocity, which puts it in the upper tier compared to other sniper rifle velocities, a 12 meters per second squared gravitational constant, which means you will suffer substantial bullet drop over longer range. But you won't really, for this weapon, because of the extremely high velocity, you probably aren't going to notice it until at least 200, 250 plus meters away. Magazine size for this weapon is 5. You can add a bayonet to all the variants, but of course it may negatively impact how quickly you can draw the weapon in aggressive recon style. In terms of the damage chart, all three variants have the same base damage of 80 up to 60 meters away. Then it increases to 100 damage at 80 meters, stays at 100 damage until 120 meters, and then past that drops back down to the base damage of 80 at 160 meters. Headshots have a 1.8 times multiplier, upper body shots have a 1 times multiplier, lower body shots and upper arms have a 0.9 times multiplier, and legs and lower arms have a 0.75 times multiplier. What this means is that the weapon's sweet spot for a one-hit kill is between 80 to 120 meters and will be a one-hit kill if you land in headshot or upper body shot. So this is one of the better longer range sweet spots in the game, it's sort of in similar range with the M1903, and it makes the Gewehr 98 a great option for medium to longer range sniping. But the overall stats of the actual weapon suggest that it can be used at all ranges, and a lot of the deficiencies can be negated with skill. More on that shortly. Of note, of course, headshots are a one-hit kill at all times in all ranges, so obviously that's where you want to aim first. You don't need to be between 80 and 120 meters is what I'm saying. In terms of recoil, all the Gewehr 98s have exactly the same recoil type profiles. In terms of vertical recoil, they have a 2 degrees of recoil, and in terms of horizontal recoil, they have 1 degree both left and right. Notice there's no preference for one side. Of note, however, the infantry variant has a better recoil decrease rating of 4.5 as opposed to the other variants, which have a rating of 3. We'll now evaluate spread. All variants, not surprisingly, have no spread when aiming down sights and not moving. All variants have 1 degree of spread when aiming down sights and moving. In terms of hipfire spread, if you're in a more aggressive recon style, all variants will encounter 2.5 degrees of spread when hipfiring, standing, and not moving, and 4 degrees of spread when hipfiring, standing, and moving. Lastly, overall you'll encounter the least overall spread and recoil when going prone, but of course, because these are single shot weapons and not full auto, there isn't an increased inherent base recoil and spread attached to the weapon's shooting profile. You can easily negate this by just sort of sitting still between reloads, between shots. There isn't really a need to go prone. Additionally, the infantry variant is best for spread decrease between shots, though you are going to be stuck with iron sights. In terms of reloading, it takes a total of 3.07 seconds to reload from completely empty, and you'll do so by inserting a strip clip of 5 rounds. If you reload single rounds instead of a single 5-round strip, it will take shorter time if you reload 1 to 2 rounds, but past 3 rounds, it'll be slower than it would be if you just reloaded a full 5-round strip clip. So the obvious advice here is to reload at 5 rounds or reload after a bullet or two. don't reload at 3 or 4, or you're going to maximize your reload time. That's not something you want. So what ranges and situations does this weapon excel? As noted earlier, the weapon outputs its max damage of 100 at the 80 to 120 meter mark, so you're going to want to stay within this range for maximum chance of a one-hit kill to chest shots and above. As stated earlier, the sweet spot's one of the best for longer range sniping, sort of slightly longer range sniping. But because, like I alluded to earlier, the decent fire rate, the good reload time, the great bolt cycling time, it means it's a weapon that can be utilized effectively as long as the person is skilled enough at nearly any ranges, and that includes anything from hip fire in close range to 250 meters plus. I would probably consider this weapon the best overall well-rounded sniper rifle that if you just gave it to someone who was just starting the game, he'd probably find the best success with this weapon than maybe another one. But of course, it depends on the player's skill, style, etc. There's a lot of variables at play there. But this is the one I'd probably give you if you needed to get better at sniping immediately. This would probably be the one. So the big question, what's my rating and would I use it often? I'd consider this, especially the marksman variant, to be probably be my favorite sniper rifle in the game. Unlike many of the other sniper rifles where the variants sort of differ in terms of stats, these Gewehr 98's variants are basically the same minus sight options, so you can choose any option for any type of sniping if you really want. The only drawback to it, of course, is that the sweet spot is a bit further back, starting at 80 meters as opposed to like the SMLE or the Martini, where it starts at like 30 and 40 meters, so you have to stick a bit far back if you want to take advantage of body shot one-shots. And the 5-round magazine's a bit small, but it's negated a bit because it reloads quite quick, and as long as you hit headshots inside any range, then it's no problem. Of note too, it's also one of the better at sniping moving targets because of that extremely high bullet velocity. So this is definitely a weapon you want to choose for that medium range and slightly longer than medium range. I'd have to give it a 9 to a 9.5 because of the logic presented to you. It doesn't really have a true definitive weakness other than like maybe magazine size, but if you're staying back at sort of medium to slightly longer range, then it takes you, 2 seconds, 3 seconds to completely reload the weapon? Not a huge problem. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Consider subscribing if you'd like to see more reviews in the future. Have a good one.